In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show with your host, Rusty Bucket.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show, brought to you by FanDuel. Got my guy Wayno in the building with me once again. He is filling in for Uncle Buck, who's still out Power Rangering in the hills and hollers of Tippah County, Mississippi. So, Wayno, man, how you doing, buddy? Appreciate you being here again early in the morning. But how you doing, man?
I think I lost the octane then halfway through. No, I'm good, man. I am super confused, super frustrated.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all that here in just a minute.
Transpired yesterday with the team, with the direction right now. I mean, it's pretty clear. I think we said, a couple of shows ago that like this trade deadline will really define the direction that we're headed. I think that's quite clear. Management have sent the message to everyone, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I credit you for optimism because you had quite a bit of it heading into the deadline. And
Sure.
We kept trying to tell you, but you didn't listen. And so you're a man of convictions, and I appreciate that. Hanging with the team and saying, just get healthy, get to the trade deadline. We still got 45 and 44 and 43 games to go. And like we were talking about in the green room before, it's now like, damn, we still got 33 more games of this.
Dude, it's going to be like I said on yesterday's show, like I don't subscribe to tanking. Like I don't subscribe to like that's just not, it's the wrong way to go around it morally for me. And so these last few games are going to really drag my viewing season out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, listen, we're going to hit a bumper video. We're going to start the Grizzlies talk more with like a trade deadline recap before we do actually have a game tonight. We are the Two Bucks Sports Show, proudly partnered with FanDuel, the official odds provider of Bluff City Media, talking Memphis Grizzlies trade deadline recap. Wayno, you and I were on here, Jared, for 2 hours. Jared hopped with us for the last hour of the show, talking deadline, fully expecting a John Morant trade to come through at any point. But as the show title suggests, we traded the wrong guy. Right now, Zack Kleiman is live, and so we're going to kind of work through it, talking about the decisions. And as Chugs and Bugs says here, the first words, his typical word salad, as one would expect. This is all organizational direction, whatever that means. So the direction was to trade your most consistent player, hanging on to the problem child prima donna, and moving forward. No, we just didn't have the available suitors for Ja Morant because he has negative trade value, as Brian Windhorst said this morning. Wayno, like, you've had some time to digest it. It sat with you for a little bit. How did the Memphis Grizzlies do yesterday at the trade deadline?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I mean, I think, we talk about – I hear a lot of people talking about Kleiman's missteps and stuff like that. I think this might be his biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we spoke briefly yesterday about, like, having vets and, like, we're going through a rebuild and we move a guy who just wants the ball. And, like, again, this is all very hard because, my take is not to tank, like, or at least if you're bottoming out, like, you've still got to be competitive because it's like, build that culture now, build that winning culture now. So when you draft those guys, they're coming into a situation where they know how to work, they know direction. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's something stable for them. Don't start it when they get here, start it before they get here. So that's probably my biggest frustration with it. I mean, not addressing I don't know, like, are we just not going to have a big for the rest of the season? Like,
that's by design. That's by design.
Like, because I'm looking at it yesterday, I'm thinking about it, like, that's how we're tanking. We're just not going to replace a big and we're just going to play super small ball for some reason. But then, like, yeah, I honestly, I feel like it's a mistake not moving Ja. You should have found a deal. I mean, at this stage, I don't really care what that deal looks like. And, like, I know the Ja hopers, they want him to stay, and that's their choice. That's their
well, right on cue, Zack Kleiman, in part on Ja Morant trade talk, says this is about organizational direction now. This is not about Ja in particular. So all you stands and people who were in our comments yesterday, the Anthony Sane Show comments yesterday, just taking your victory laps that Ja is still on this team and he's somehow going to be a miraculous turnaround and be an actual, like, net player. Like, Ja's still going to be gone. I have the opinion, and I may be wrong. He may play a handful of games, Wayno, but I really don't think that he's going to play a whole lot the rest of this season because he has negative trade value now, and I understand that the way to improve that is by playing. But it's been 3 seasons since he has played 7 or more games without an injury, suspension, something. And so why would you risk the asset that already has negative value going out there, popping an Achilles, popping an ACL, and then you have a trade value, a trade asset with negative value and a long-term injury, as we know Ja Morant is prone to get? Then you're going to have to not only attach a pick to it, it might be multiple picks to get him out of here. I
don't like Kendrick Perkins. I don't particularly love him as a player either, and I think he's not a great analyst.
Oh, he's terrible as an analyst.
He was on the money yesterday.
Yep.
So I suppose I'll pose this. I was going to say this question a bit later, but I feel like we're hitting the right subjects now, so let's get it out of the way. We kind of both know where we both stand, I think, with Ja and this team and moving forward. What would it take for you to change your opinion on Ja? What would swing it right back the other way? Is it too little too late now? Or what would, I suppose, how many games have we got left? 30-something?
33.
33 games left. So what would 33 games take to turn it around for you?
That's hard because I've been burned. I've been burned enough that I don't know that there's anything that 33 games is going to show me that's going to convince me that Ja's going to stick around other than playing 100% of the games. If he turned around and he said, look, I'm going to play the last 33 games of this season like my life depends on it. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm not going to mope. I'm not going to sulk. I'm going to go out and give you 24-12 and 20-10 every night. I would start to think there might be hope. But it's going to take playing 33 games. And guess what? He's out tonight with the elbow injury. He's not going to play the rest of the games. he's going to play a bare minimum, just enough to kind of either try and lift his trade value or none at all to prevent a catastrophic injury. And he's going to be gone this summer. To me, I have watched for 4 seasons hoping that Ja of old is going to come back. I've been hoping since 2022 that we're going to get that Ja Morant back. And we get it for 1 to 5 games a year. We play 82 games, and that's hard stomach for me. So long story long, it's not a lot left for me to be able to turn around on Ja Morant.
Yeah.
And I must say, I'm a bit more bitter and salty than others because I was at the game. I paid hard-earned money for a half-season pass. I was at the game that he quit on the team when Tuomas Iisalo called him out. And this is the second time he's acted up when somebody's called him out. Steven Adams called him out on that players-only meeting. He took him out of the strip club. Tuomas Iisalo calls him out at halftime. He stands in the corner and pouts. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And like Per Sharkey has said before, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it's like there's an undertone to everything. So, he can be put in his place, but like he's just telling you everything you want to hear, like an adolescent child. Like, do you know what I mean? Until he kind of gets his way. Like, but it's like leadership, like, is really shown when the crap hits the fan. Do you know, when things aren't going your way? I don't want to see, like, I mean, it's great when everyone's winning, right? Like, it's great. Like, it does solve everything, or mask it anyway. But when things aren't going well, that's the time when you have to step up as leader. That's when you got to put your work boots on and just go get the job done, regardless of outcome. It's about getting through that process. I also just don't like the way he speaks to media.
Yeah.
Like, he speaks to media like, I wish he'd get some training on that because it's terrible. Like, the Europe thing was one thing, but I'm talking about like regular media chatter. It's like this real disdain between him and the media. Like, you're supposed to be leading this franchise, y'all.
Yeah.
I think
know he's got social insecurities and that sort of stuff, but like
rubbish.
Exactly.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Get yourself media trained. Even if your answers are short, you can be like project in a way that's, a bit more, I'm not sociable, but like, I don't know, man. Like, it always gripes me. I think I'm in kind of the same camp. I think it may be a little bit too late now. I don't know what the rest of the season looks like for him, whether they send him home, whether he sits on the bench. Someone mentioned it in the comments. I must have missed it, but
I saw that. Yeah, where it was like that also makes me nervous as well, having that kind of negative energy around guys who are trying to play and be competitive.
And this is my biggest gripe with the rebuild and tanking. All right, and totally bottoming out like we're doing. Like, we're not even going to be competing. Basically, we're saying we're not competing. And I don't like that for the core guys that are here right now. Yeah. I don't like the message that sends to Zach Edey sitting on the bench watching this all unfold. I don't like it for Sed, who's going to be out on the floor and severely undermanned. I don't like it for Cam Spencer, who has, like, he's probably the biggest dog we have on this roster. And I don't want to squander that. I want to grow that. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll get into a second, but I hope the NBA finds the Grizzlies for this next lineup they're rolling out, because I thought at least, if we're going to sit Ty, okay, that's fine. He's played 2 games where he's just come back, so I can kind of manage my thoughts around him sitting a game. We're sitting Santi as well. And I was like, this might be a good opportunity for us as Grizzlies fans, at least to get a gauge on the new guys we've got coming in. They're all out as well. How long's the trip to Utah?
Yeah. So I think we might get some. I didn't see was Walter Clayton Jr. Was he on the list? Was players that are out?
I think they're all out.
Let me see. Hang on. I'm pulling it up. We waived Eric Gordon, so I do know that. Like, Eric Gordon's no longer on the team. Yeah, all the new guys can play. None of them are out. So the people who are out are Santi, BC, Edey, Eric Gordon, who has been waived, Ja, and Ty. questionable. Scottie Pippen Jr., so he'll likely play. So that means we're probably going to get Kyle Anderson minutes at the 5 tonight. That's going to be your starting. That's going to be your starting center. And let's kind of transition off of Ja there. Like I'm kind of done talking about that prima donna. Yeah. Let's talk about our post position. It's going to be Kyle Anderson tonight with no Santi Aldama. I think that's kind of the bygone conclusion there. If you're paying attention, shout out to all the people in the comments. I appreciate it being here. Awesome. Amanda, she's got the right perspective. You know, Jaron was that guy for our city and our team. Ja is more of a net negative. Tip 358 kind of brings up a good point here. James Wiseman and Bol. I hope it's not Bol, just because I listened to him in that Phoenix game, like Bol a million times.
I'll take Bol at this point. Like, what do we got to lose? Like,
by waiving Eric Gordon, we have created a roster spot to be able to sign theoretically, we're going to sign a center of some capacity. Bring James Wiseman home to Memphis. That's fine. Bol. There's plenty of guys that are going to be out there that we can go poach. Bring up Armando Bacot from the hustle. Like, there's going to be a room. I think we're going to use that last roster spot to get a center.
We could bring in another Aussie. There's another one out there. Just got released. Do-Up Reith.
Yeah, Do-Up Reith is another name.
A big stretch the floor. He'll be on the cheap.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
And so we got an open center position, and Zack Kleiman, shout out Chugs a Bucks, keeping us updated here, has name dropped Edie Coward, Jalen Wells, and Walter Clayton Jr. as future pieces.
Like, I don't get this.
I think because, like, he's a big guard. He had a phenomenal college run his last year at Florida. I don't think he's got.
You don't think he's gotten the shot?
I don't think he's gotten a good run in Utah. I'm withholding judgment. I'm going to give it a chance. Like, I'm willing to feel it out and see what it looks like. Like, it wasn't a great first year in Utah so far. And part of that, too, don't forget, he was behind Keontae George, who had a career resurgence and is a most improved candidate. So, like, that's also part of it.
Here's my thing. I said this yesterday on the show. It's the thing that bugs me, I think, most about the Jaren. Like, when you talk about young guns and young guys in the league, like, Clayton's just not a name that comes up. And I just feel like for the weight of what Jaren Jackson is, that's what we should have been bringing back. I don't care too much about everything else around it. Obviously, I understand that it's totally about the picks. But
he's also behind Isaiah Collier, too. Shout out to Edward. Like, he was buried on that depth chart. And listen, I get it, but we're not, like you said yourself, like, it's hard to go and get a guy of the caliber back in a trade. You can't go trade for the same position. It's hard to go get a guy of Jaren's caliber back. But, like, there are dudes, like, Walter Clayton Jr. may not have just gotten a good shake. Keith Fisher agrees with you. He hasn't seen the hype around him. This did bother me that Cam Spencer and Gigi were not mentioned in that group, as Gigi definitely should have been. But Isaiah Collier and Keontae George are having a great year for Utah. And maybe that's part of it. I'm not saying he's going to save our franchise. I'm not saying he's going to be the next John Morant. All I'm saying is I'm taking a wait and see approach to see if he's actually a fit.
Yeah. I mean, I just suppose again, just the weight of moving Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, I just thought it deserved more of a, I don't want to say household name, but like they're just not names that we bring up regularly when speaking about young talent in the league. And I'm not just saying it needs to be like, anyone crazy, but I'm just like.
Tip says bring it back. Isaiah Collier would have been fun. But here's the other thing. We're in a tanking mode. And I tried to give everybody, you included, Mr. Optimist over there, warning going into the trade deadline. I was telling everybody we're going to be sellers, and Anthony Sane, you to a degree, so many people were saying, and Sane's my guy, shout out Sane, we're saying we're going to be buyers, we're going to make a move, we're going to do this. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you the direction this is going, we're going to be sellers. And what were we? We were sellers. When you're in a tank and you're looking to sell, you're not going to go get a guy like an Isaiah Collier or Ryan Rollins, a piece that you can build with. You're going to ship off your guys for assets to go get other players in the future, especially a guy like Zack Kleiman. As Edward says here, he's going to find another superstar in the draft. There was no world where we were going to trade John Morant and try and go get like another piece. Zack Kleiman trusts his scouts, trusts his scouting department. He's a great scout and talent finder, especially late first in the second round. He's trusting that. And so there was not a world, unfortunately, guys, where we were going to go get a great talent in a year when we're trying not to win. I won't say trying to lose, but trying not to win as much for draft position.
I mean, look, to Ed's point as well, it's like they must have identified a guy, that they got to do all this. They must like, again, I'm relying on, I don't follow college ball, So I rely on smarter people than myself to inform me on that sort of information. So, but we know one thing, that ZK is pretty good come draft time about finding those gems. If they've got a shot in the first round, I think the signs are that they identify someone as being maybe that next star for us, and they're going to go after him, because there just seems to be a lot of conviction on their half to make that happen.
And that's what you got to do in a small market. A, B, that's what Zack Kleiman has done really well in the past. DeMichael Cole just tweeted out that ZK says this isn't going to be some 5-year drawn-out process. Chugs and Bugs thinks it's going to be more like a 7-year process. I disagree. I think there are guys in this draft, and I know we're being very, very careful, with expectations here, Wayno. Like, don't hear what I'm not saying.
Hey.
There are guys in this draft that could be good enough pieces to have us in a play-in conversation next year. Now, I didn't say they're going to save the franchise. I didn't say we're going to turn around to a 2 seed in the Western Conference. But there are guys like Cam Boozer who could come in and immediately impact us in the front court. You pair him beside Edey with some of the combo guards we have that Clayton or that Keith Fisher's talking about. Ty, Cam. I think Clayton's going to get some run because, also, we're going to see Ty Jerome in and out of the lineup a lot throughout this year for calf management, but it's because he's going to be barbecuing dudes so that we don't win as many games. But in this draft, there are pieces. Let's say we get incredibly lucky and get a Darian Peterson, first overall. But that's a guy that you can build with Zach Edey and Cedric Howard around. Yeah. Now, again, he's a rookie. We're seeing it with Ced. There's going to be some bumps and bruises, but there are guys, and I believe, I've seen enough of these guys playing in college. There are guys who can be impactful next year, not franchise saving, not superstars, though I think Darian Peterson could be. There are impactful guys in the draft this year, and that's what ZK's banking on.
Yeah, and look, I understand all that, and I understand, much like the grit and grind era, when that had just run, you just knew it had run its course. You know what I mean? We weren't particularly going to winning any more games than what we had already been, and it was just time. And same thing with this. We've just, it is the what if team. What if injuries? What if I think, like I said yesterday again, it's the silver lining of this season is that we jumped to that transition period quicker because we really saw in the worst possible way what our 2 superstars, that they weren't those guys. Is keep doing Jar things, and you put up with that as long as you can. And then Jaren, the other way, was maybe he just hit his peak and wasn't the takeover guy that we needed when he had all the opportunity this year to become that player.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Circling back, not to go back and revisit and beat a dead horse, but directly related to our draft position, Kleiman said on the future of Ja this season, he will continue to have honest conversations with Ja, says that he's currently injured and will continue attacking his rehab. When pressed, Zack Kleiman would not commit to saying Ja Morant would play again for the team this season, said he doesn't have an update on his rehab. And then he said it's truly a medical determination. Guys, he's not playing again. He's not playing again.
He's your superstar or former superstar. Of course, everything that's going on with his medical reports.
Yeah.
That's a message, a phone call away.
Yeah. So shout out, Willie. We are moving off of lovable losers to improve our draft position, which takes us into the game tonight as we get ready to work on our draft position. We know here with the Grizzlies traveling to Portland to play the Portland Trailblazers. The Grizzlies are an 8.5-point road dog to a Portland team who's okay, not great, but okay. and the Grizz are minus 295 on the money line. What are your expectations? What are you looking for in this game tonight? We will continue to monitor the press conference, but we're going to talk about the game a little bit as well.
Sure. So the new guys are playing. The last report I saw was they weren't playing.
So according to the official release, is they're not on the injury report. From Grizz PR, they are not on the injury report.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they're going to play. They can still get a coach's DNP, but they are not on the official injury report.
That would be magic.
It would be on brand. Like, I don't know how you expect something different.
Give us something this season. Give us something.
Yeah.
What am I expecting? Grizzlies win, of course.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
How are they going to match up with who have we got again?
Yeah. Portland.
How are they going to compete with our mind games of absolutely no bigs whatsoever on the floor?
Yeah.
Look, I think it's pretty clear what we're walking into.
We're walking into slow-mo corner threes like it's 2021, man. Like it's 2021.
Lowest release ever.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Shout out to Chugs and Bugs. Are you looking at my bets here? Because I got a best bet for you tonight over on FanDuel, the official odds provider of Bluff City Media. Shout out Chugs and Bugs for giving me a great little segue here. In a same game parlay with a 30% profit boost on all NBA bets tonight, same game parlays, you can get Denny Avdia. I'm taking Denny Avdia over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'm taking GG over 14.5. I'm expecting big things out of GG. Klingon, I am taking the over. Oh, his over-under is set at 12.5 rebounds. I am hammering the over. I almost teased it out to 15, but I'm going to take it at 12.5 because who's going to stop him? He's one of the best rebounding bigs in the game. He's not a great offensive player, but he's one of the best rebounding bigs in the game right now. He's going to have Chugs and Bugs thinks 30. That might also be on the underside. Like you might want to tease it to 35. And then I'm going to take Cam 6+ assists with that 30% profit boost. It is plus 1137, plus 1,137. Do we have any hope of slowing down Donovan Klingon in the rebounds?
Do we have anyone coming off an injury list this game? Like
Scottie Pippen Jr., but he don't help with the rebounding. Well, he's questionable for tonight, which in Grizzlies terms means he's probably going to play.
Right. I mean, yeah, look, I'm going to be watching the game. I mean, I say that out loud and I wonder why, but I'll be watching the game and just looking for silver linings.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
this. I do agree with Edward here. Here's the silver lining. I do think Zach Edey is much better than Klingon, and we were trying to trade up to go get Klingon and ended up with Zach Edey, and I think we ended up with the better all-around center because Edey does it on both ends of the floor. He can do it offensively. He can rebound and defend the rim, whereas Klingon is just a rebounding shot blocker. He doesn't score the ball super well.
Yeah, to Klingon's credit, he does move pretty well on the court, though.
He does. He's very athletic.
And Klingon has also had his turn of like being injured since coming to the league as well. So he's had quite a few games as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see what the new guys look like, see if, you know, how much weight I should put behind those guys, and hopefully some of them kind of prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a long 48 minutes.
It is. And we'll talk more about that after the commercial break. We're going to hit a quick commercial break. I want to come back and I want to talk about Tuomas Iisalo's system. Can it morph to these new guys? Will it change? Will we see a difference? We'll also talk about a bit more of the other trades from the NBA and get you ready for other NBA games tonight. So y'all stick with us after this brief commercial break, and we'll be right back.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. that also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
Breaking news: Sincere Parker is our player of the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, whoa! Who knew?
Shocker, right?
Yeah, what a game, man.
Yeah, no, he was awesome tonight. Penny's talked about it in the last couple of weeks of just how he doesn't want his team to let go of the rope, right? Sincere putting the team on his back, and the team and the guys rallying around him and making sure he took the shots that were good shots, right? It was just a really well-played back half of the second half because they had every reason just to let it go, and they didn't. And so that was good. Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show, brought to you by FanDuel. While we were out, DeMichael posted this tweet, Wayno, and I got some thoughts on it. So, draft capital and young players for the next era have been major talking points with Zack Kleiman. The organization will continue to have dialogue with John Morant on his future, but this isn't like past years where Kleiman has vehemently stated confidence in Morant's Grizz future. I find this interesting from a guy who just last year told us that we unintentionally got younger and he was going to make corrections. And here we are, not even a calendar year later, half a season later, because that was in his exit interview. And we're focusing on draft capital and young players once again. I feel like, we're getting more of the same word salad.
I'm going a little different route on this view because he did say that we weren't close.
He did say we weren't close.
And your statements at the start of the season aren't all. It's like if you ran into yourself a year from now. Do you know? Like your view on the world is much different because stuff's happened in between. And I feel like that's the same case. I hear what you're saying. Don't worry. Like I definitely hear what you're saying, but I also think coming out and saying that we weren't even close, and then trading Desmond Bain, and then everything that unfolded, I can kind of understand why we're here, why we're now. I mean, it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I think it's crazy.
Now, I'm not upset by it. I'm just saying it's just funny how like. We got unintentionally younger, and we're not even close, and now we're going even younger. I guess this time, at least, we're being intentional about going younger. And I'm honestly, I'm not. I'm just kind of being facetious here. I'm not even upset about it because it is the right path. It is the right move.
Yeah,
we do need to continue to get younger and chase out this new runway because the Ja and Jaren runway is over. We got screwed, as Willie says here, by John Morant and his injuries and lack of progression in his game. I still stand by what I said earlier in the year where Cedric Coward has improved more this year than John Morant has in the last 3. And so we've been screwed on all fronts by John Morant's injuries and lack of development. Now it's time to focus on the next runway. And to me, that's Cedric, Edie, and Gigi. Even if ZK doesn't mention him, I think Gigi's going to be a part of that with his athleticism and his progression this year. And so I'm not upset about us getting younger, Wayno. I just need to I just want to make sure we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I think this is the correct course. I just worry about the message we're sending to the new core off the bat. Like, you build a house, you don't throw your roof up first, right? The foundations need to be set. So when you bring in the pieces, you're good to go. And I suppose that's just my biggest thing. I think it's important, even though we're already in the lottery. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all going to come down to the luck of where the ball bounces.
And ZK's already said as much. It's weird when they were asking about kind of the future. He was saying, like, it's going to be our position in the lottery is going to dictate our strategy going forward. Yeah, and that's fair. To your point, I was looking for this. AC Surreal said this earlier. ED Cam said those are huge competitors, and they will not appreciate a tank, which is why, like, we're still going to see us go out and win games. I think we're going to go out and see us beat teams like Sacramento. We could take one of these 2 games in Portland because we're still going to play hard, but the deck is stacked against us when Kyle Anderson, who Zack Kleiman in his press conference today called a great bet to have around young guys, and he's absolutely right, is going to be getting minutes at the 5 until we sign a post player.
Yeah. Okay. Look, that's my own thing. I have no problem moving off. I just sort of think that the misfire here is not being able to get Ja Morant off the books and getting me out of town. It's kind of like you've broken up with the ex-girlfriend, but she's still living in the house. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just that it's awkward. It's awkward. I don't like the messages sent. And the other thing to this is that it's all good and well now. Ja Morant's not getting his way. If he's sitting and decides that he has a problem with anything, like, we've seen the I'll say immature mindset of Ja Morant in the past. It's nothing to say that won't feed off into other guys. And you just gotta pack their bags and leave him in Sacramento. I don't know what was so hard.
And Joe Molinex said this on Twitter last night, but, like, to ZK's credit, like, this isn't a, hey, Ja Morant, we're glad you're staying. Thanks for, we're happy to build around you. This is a ZK stood on business, and the trade leaked out from Miami, whether it's true or not. But the one I saw was that we were asking for, we were going to take Terry Rozier's bad contract. We wanted Jaime Jaquez or Khalil Ware and a first-round pick. And Miami said, absolutely not. Obviously, it's windy and everybody's reported that Ja has negative trade value. So that's ZK standing on business and saying, look, I am not going to give away Ja Morant. He's not a guy that you just give away for pennies on the dollar, and I appreciate that. And so to Zeke, like, you can hate on our front office all you want. That was a grown man move because he could have easily, because of how toxic Ja has been and likely is going to be, barring some miraculous, like, I'm talking about like Saul to Paul, Jonah in the belly of a whale type turnaround, like, is going to be a malcontent. That is ZK standing on business and saying, look, we're not going to give him away. We'll revisit this in the summer.
Yeah. And look, to the point in the comments, it's like, if he does mess around, does become so toxic, they'll just send him home. Mm-hmm. They won't risk it.
Shout out, it's AC Surreal right here. Door's right there, buddy. You can take it to the house. Take it to the house. And Keith Fisher did make this point several times on a lot of our shows that we're not going to trade Ja for nothing, but keeping Ja does not indicate that Ja is going to be a part of our plans going forward. Like, we all need to say that together. Like, I need everybody that is a Ja stan to go look yourself in the mirror and say, stop it. Get some help. Ja Morant is not a long-term piece in this team going forward, unlike what looks like Tuomas Iisalo is going to be. You've said this a couple times. I said this on the ABC 24th Floor show the other day. Zack Kleiman didn't run Taylor Jenkins out with an interim with his head coach in waiting to give him one season, especially now that season's turned into a tank. I'm not saying that this is what I want, Wayno. You might be a little closer on it than I am, but this feels like an opportunity for Tuomas to get in some of his guys, see what his system can do, and run. What are your thoughts?
I wish I would have said this earlier in the season because, look, I have been pretty fair with Tuomas and the coaching throughout the year, probably more than most. I just remember I've been sitting on this thought since about game 20 of this season. And that is this. This was my thought when it was all going to crap and I was watching and I was like, man, like this is just the rotations are falling apart. I couldn't help but think to myself, this guy would be a really good coach for a rebuilding team that doesn't have a superstar, where he doesn't have to manage someone's ego. And that's my thought, because he does get the most. Look at the, I mean, we can, if you took away the rotation mess, I think everyone would be on board with this coach. I think that's the biggest chunk, really. He gets the most out of third string centers. Look how well Jot's playing. He gets the most. Vince Williams' value this season.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone is telling you they saw Vince Williams have a 13 assist game this year, they're crazy. They're lying straight blue in the face.
Yep.
So I actually like what he gets. I like the resurgence. Cam made massive jumps this season. Okay, So as far as getting the most out of players, and for me, it's setting that tone for the new guys, and holding players accountable, holding each other accountable, and that's what he does do well. I kind of think he maybe needed this. Do you know what I mean? And look, he might long term, I think he gets another season to prove his worth.
Sure.
I just remember about game 20, I was like, it's a bit of a shame, because, we've got all these injuries, but I just kind of thought that first Washington game, actually, he'd be a good coach for this team because they don't have an identified superstar yet, and he'd get everyone playing for each other and playing the right way.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on that. I hear what you're saying for sure. And we can now see that because I was upset that we had true blue superstars, in Ja Morant, in Jaren Jackson Jr., and we weren't maximizing them. We weren't utilizing them. If you had them, you need to use them. Well, now we don't have Jaren. And again, say it with me, chat. We don't have Ja Morant. So now I think this could be a opportunity for him to prove exactly what you're talking about. AC Surreal talks about it. He gets good minutes out of Omax. He got good run out of Jock, Cam, Vince. Edie, as Willie says here, instantly went to double-digit rebounds when he took over, when he came back from his injury. I think that now without a superstar, this could be exactly what you're talking about. And this is not my vote of confidence in Tuomas Iisalo. Coaches come and go, systems come and go. I do think he's going to be gone in the next couple of years. But there is a chance that if we can build this team similar to an Indiana Pacers team with a bunch of role players who are bought in, because Obi Toppin's not a superstar, Pascal Siakam's not a superstar. They're good players. Hallie's a good player. He's one of the most clutch players in the world, but I don't think any of us would call him like a true blue superstar in the realm of like an SGA or a Ja Morant or those type players, Jalen Brunson. I may be wrong. But they built it with a bunch of role players, a bunch of Nimhards and McConnells and Mathurin's. Mathurin's now with the Clippers. But like we could be the 04 Pistons, like we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
You brought that up. Like we could be a team with a bunch of guys who are just bought the F in to the system, to the name on the front of the jersey, to each other with the right pieces in this draft. Say Walter Clayton Jr. ends up being a good role player on this team. Then you can go get maybe a great player at the top part of this draft because who said it earlier? They got the Texas Longhorns horns down for the logo, but Dog E3F says they have 2 top 20 picks, likely could get 3 with as much assets as we have. We could move up and get 3. What if one of those guys ends up being really, really great on this team, Wayno? And then we got a bunch of really good role players who are bought into the system. Again, I'm not saying we're going to turn it around in a year and be a top 4 seed in the West again, but there's a world where we could be competing for the play-in as early as next year.
So I think kind of more my point was that he's going to get the most out of the players we bring in. If we are looking to recognize.
By the way, this is what we did with Taylor Jenkins. We let Taylor Jenkins develop our guys. He proved that he couldn't take them to the next level, and that's why he got fired.
Yeah.
It could be the same with Tuomas. Sorry to interrupt.
100%. I mean, I do feel like Tuomas is a better coach than Jenkins. I'll just say that. Like, that's just my belief.
Agreed. I do agree with that.
That's fair. Yeah, so I think like bringing these new guys in and drafting in this upcoming draft, it's important to have a guy like Tuomas, because if he's going to get the best out of players, then that is the key to identifying that next star. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I think he can be a guy that can help kind of develop that guy and actually turn them into a great player.
Look, the talk about him staying beyond that is a wait and see. Let's see how guys responding. Let's see who's still bought in. That's another step. You know, I'm not saying
we're talking about we're taking one bite at a time right now. We're not looking down the road. We're looking at the rest of the season and the draft, because if we can get good leverage minutes from Cedric Coward, say Zach Edey comes back and plays a little bit, or Walter Clayton Jr., or we see something in Gigi as he continues to develop, then that helps you. Okay, we've got a piece at the point with Ty Jerome. We've got a good wing in Gigi. We've got something in Zach Edey in the post. Like, we've got a lot of things that can help build this team. Now let's get pieces around them. And yes, Tuomas Iisalo just started coaching. Like, his record is absolutely, we're not denying that, but you can't watch Taylor Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins was a good developmental coach. He was abysmal in-game coaching. Abysmal. Yeah. We all agree with that.
If that's your take, that's cool. Like, I'm not here to convince anyone.
Sure.
Of anything, you know.
Otherwise,
like, I'm just telling you what the gauge is and how he, you know, how he works the team. Like, that's just where I'm at. Like, I'm not a big fan of buddy coaches, and
that's what Taylor Jenkins was.
Yeah, and look how that turned out. He got his
We're in this mess because of that.
Yeah. So look, that's cool.
T.I. does struggle, but he's consistent. Taylor Jenkins was throwing at the wall and seeing what sticks. Tuomas is his rotations. I've said this numerous times. I'm not backing down from it. His fourth quarter rotations are awful, because he sticks with them. Like, Cedric doesn't play for 6-7 minutes in the fourth quarter, and that's awful. Like, I agree with that. But he is the adult in the room holding people accountable, obviously, and that rubbed John Morant the wrong way. But what I can see as we start to land this plane, because I got a hard out at 12, go get my hairs cut after that, is we have fully embraced a team like we were talking about, with a bunch of role players who know their system, who just punch above their weight, and they're dogs. That's why 50, 33, 9, and soon to be 11 are hanging forever in the rafters at FedEx Forum. Not because they brought us a title, not because they had an insane shoe deal, not because they were a global brand that ended up being, you know, this worldwide phenomenon. No, because they were a bunch of dudes who laced them up, who played hard, and they represented this city for what we are. Memphis, as Zebo said, is a blue-collar town, and we look for blue-collar players. We support people like that. And a team like the city and the fan base, the best way to forget about a John Morant and a Jaren Jackson Jr. is bring in a team that is bought into the name on the front and plays hard like those grit and grind teams, Wayno. That's how you remove the bad taste of the Grizz Next Gen out of our mouths and build a team we can be proud of.
Yeah, and look, I'm not, you know, we're selling a lot of hope right now. You know what I mean?
A lot of hopium, for sure.
It's a process. It's going to take some time, and I do think we will probably get there a bit quicker than a lot of other teams. But I just think of the last 3 seasons and where we're at, where this all came. We deserve, as Memphis fans, we deserve a team that wants to play, that busts their ass on the court, that shows up, that holds each other accountable. And I think we'll get that. Like, I think we really do deserve that. Whatever that looks like and whatever that, you know, becomes after that is what it is. But I feel like moving forward, as long as those foundations are set, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and you know, Grizz Next Gen, as Willie says here, was fool's gold. They were front runners. They were front runners. They were writing checks with their mouths that their ass couldn't catch. Cash, as my dad would say. They were going out talking about being fine in the West and poking bears and all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't fun. Like, it wasn't fun. Like, in the moment, yeah, we said something cool, and then you go get embarrassed on the court. Like, it was a front runner, and I didn't appreciate that at all. There are good things that come out of it. Jaren was the most decorated Grizzly in the first 6, 7, 8 seasons of a career of all time. There were fun things that come out of it, but like, I don't want more fun, feel good things. I want wins. I want to get people in the mud, and I want to get wins.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna look back on that era. You know, we got some dope memories. You know, we got some dope memories, some awesome highlight plays, and a great series win that, you know, we desperately needed at the time, and we had some real feel-good moments, and that just came to an end, and it just ran on its course. And like, I don't really get mad at missed trades that didn't happen and not bringing in guys, and like, that's the game. That's the game that every NBA team is playing in this league. Do you know what I mean? Any team you go to, if you were to jump ship today and go, you know what, I'm out, Jar's gone, I'm going to the next team, you're going to go into the same thing. Yeah, you know,
that's fine. That's fine. But I've been rooting for Grizzlies on the front. And I mean, Keith Fisher's right. Listen, like, that is my opinion, young man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for sharing your opinion. Appreciate all y'all being here in the comments. Y'all are what drives our show and makes us unique. It's because we give you a platform to share your opinion as well on our shows. And there were fun moments, right? Like we're a BC and Steve-O injury away from beating the Lakers. We're a John Morant BC injury away from beating the Warriors and going to a Western Conference Finals. So there were moments, and I appreciate y'all bringing those up so I don't forget about them. We were the hottest team in the league before injury started hurting, and Game 5 was the peak of Grizz Next Gen, right? Like, that's when everything started going. Like, after that is when the injuries started happening, we know. And so I appreciate y'all calling me out, holding me accountable. There were fun moments. There were. Yeah. But like, it just, to me, in my opinion, it feels hollow because there's going to be the legacy of Grizz Next Gen is always going to be what if.
Yeah, it's because it's unlike the grit and grind era, we got the most out of those guys. Do you know, like, they gave it their all. Like, and when it was time to walk away, we were kind of, it was sad, and like, no one wants to see Zebo in a Sacramento jersey. I don't care who you are. No one wants to see Tony Allen ride the bench for the Pelicans. Like, it was just time. And then, you know, we look at this era that's on its way out, and it's like, it is that what if. It's like, man, like, but
that could have been something. That could have been something.
Like, I still swear, like, you know, like, I was waiting for Jar's why not me season. I thought he had an MVP run in him for sure. Why not? The talent's all there, but
I mean, he won MIP, and the guys who win most improved, that's kind of the runway towards the MVP. Like, Ja was on an MVP track, 100%.
Yeah, feels incomplete. Yeah, I totally agree. It does.
And we're gonna go ahead. I'm sorry. Because moving off him. No.
You could.
I'm gonna end it here. This is a good place to end it. Shout out to Amanda. You're a relatively new face. AC Surreal, thanks for being here. Keith, young man, all the folks, again, King Meeks, everybody who's been here in the comments. Thank y'all. Edward helping driving this show. We appreciate it. But I'm like Amanda. I'm ready to move on. I'm excited to think about what the future can be, because without hope, what are we doing here, right? Without hope, we're the Sacramento Kings, the Chicago Bulls. Like, they have no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I'm throwing shade. Clip that, Kenny. Put that out there for them. I'm throwing all kind of shade. Like, Chicago's running out of guard-only lineup. Like, it could be worse. And so I'm excited to think about what the future can be. I have faith in Zack Kleiman in the draft window that we're going to find some steals. We're going to find the right guys in the draft. That I think this is a 1 to 3 year rebuild. I don't think this is going to be 5, 7, 8, 10 years like we're seeing some other franchises, but I think 1 to 3 is realistic. And so I'm excited. I'm going to be there a lot next year, watching the new young guys, rooting for dudes, probably in a 4-5 jersey, repping my guy, Gigi, if he's still around. But it was a fun time, but it was a hollow time in Grizz Next Gen. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter. How about you?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say real quickly, I watched a few post-game podcasts from Sacramento that are in a good place. Like, we at least have like the direction, like moving off this team, we have like a direction, a clear direction. And let me tell you, they
don't.
like, They're
That's
all
an
on some
abysmal
stuff.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So take heart, Grizz fans, as we leave you here on the Friday edition of the $2 Sports Show. Take heart that at least we're not Sacramento. It could always be worse. We could be Kings fans. But that's going to do it for your Friday edition of the $2 Sports Show. Wayno, thanks for rocking with me all week this week. You, my guy. I appreciate you, man. Really, really been a lot of fun this week. Getting up early and hanging out with us. You're the man. I appreciate you, buddy.
We've had some great shows this week. Like,
Been good, man.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Good content. Y'all go check out the trade deadline show yesterday if you missed it. Again, thanks for being here, everybody in the comments. If this is your first time, you owe us a thumbs up on the way out the door. We appreciate y'all being here. We'll be back Monday at 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. In the meantime, y'all tune in to Anthony saying at 1. Go be a friend of somebody who needs a friend, and we'll see y'all on Monday.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.